images. That is, when something is escalating, simply means it has spread to
Yes.
various areas. So from that, you begin to have different segments, different sets, different interests, different group
Yes.
coming into
Yes.
the crisis.
Yes. This is
Then,
when violence
mm,
breeds
yes, sir.
further violence. This is
Yes, sir.
when violence, the escalation stage, is when
Erupt. Yes,
violence breeds further violence, therefore
yes, sir.
produce an escalatory momentum.
Yes, sir.
Okay, although you didn't start from the latent phase. The latent phase, Miss Martha, do you have anything on the latent phase? Miss Martha,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
Miss Regina is in a noisy environment. That's why she has not spoken yet. Do you have anything on the latent phase, Miss Martha?
Yes, sir. You
Please
said that
walk us through this.
the latent stage is the stage of conflict cycle where the conflict become dormant.
Ma, not stage, ma. I mean latent phase. It is not stage, ma.
Yeah, the latent
Okay.
phase
Yes, please.
where the conflict cycle where conflict is dormant
Wonderful.
and
Then we
barely
have the
expressed by the conflicting.
yes, yes. It's barely expressed. Wonderful. Then we move to the next one, which is what's the next phase after
Manifest
the
phase.
latent?
Manifest
Okay.
phase. Yeah, that one says that at this phase, conflicting parties express their demand and grievance
Latent phase. Yes,
openly.
openly. Yes. It becomes confrontational at this stage.
Yes.
Actually, the express is more of expression, right? The manifest, like it says, the manifestation phase or the manifest phase. This is where the
Yeah.
expression become open, no longer dormant. Then the next stage is where the confrontation comes. What's the next stage, man?
Okay. The next phase is violence.
Yes, the violent
Yeah. This
phase.
phase is characterized by direct physical attack and confrontation, leading to
Direct,
spilling of blood.
yes. And when you confront somebody, if care is not taken, you can be physical.
Yeah.
All right. So usually confrontation is not advised in most cases because the chances that one can get physical when there is a confrontation, the chances are high. So we have the next phase as the escalation phase, which Mr. Edward has spoken about. Then after the escalation phase, after when matters have escalated, what is the next phase, ma'am?
Content phase.
Are
At the
you
content phase,
sure is the content or
escalation to a sorry
are you sure is the content or mitigated?
is content phase before the
Okay,
mitigated.
go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, where escalation comes to a halt in this stage. This could be
Okay.
because of the conflicting parties have temporarily exhausted their supply of weapons.
Yes, 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 that's true. Wonderful. Then we have the next phase as
Mitigated.
yeah, mitigated.
Yes, the stage of any conflict is a period during which the basic cause of conflict remain in place.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And we have the last
Resolution.
phase here where there is need for resolution. Okay,
Yeah.
what is all about? What is the phase all about?
Okay. Resolution says this phase is the most perceived critical stage of all phases.
Yes, Why is it so critical? Why is it perceived as the critical stage?
Okay, to me, the reason why it's so critical is when you have to settle an issue, you have to bring up some issue that past and the present one. So from there, some people will not agree with what you're saying. Some people will not agree that they are at fault. So it's a kind of refreshing a conflict.
Okay, Mr. Edwards, why is the resolution phase referred to as, why is it perceived as a critical phase or a critical stage of all the phases?
Well, it's like I didn't have that class, but with what she has said now, when an issue or crisis get to the level of resolution, it simply
Yes, sir.
means that both parties have decided to come to a compromise.
Mm,
Basically, because of the damage of the crisis, basically
mm,
because of what they have lost, economical wise, relationship wise, social wise, and all that. Maybe as a result, maybe a mediator too comes in between to be able to see how they can come to a compromise. From there, the whole
wonderful,
issue starts, the resolution will start, the process will start. And that's
wonderful.
what I
Thank
can
you
say
very,
about that, sir. Yes, sir.
very much for that. And one thing again that makes it perceived as critical is that
Yes, sir.
if matters are not handled properly,
Mm,
it's like it said in Yoruba, it said like the term is, it says Ipadabo Abija. I don't know how to say that in English. Let me try. That the the what happened, the first phase is like they were practicing the main war or the main conflict is
mm,
of the return of the dreaded
mm.
what it means. So if matters are not handled carefully or properly, the conflict can flare up again.
Sure.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
that is why it's said to be, all right, the passive critical state of all the phases. Okay, Miss Regina, good evening, ma. Are you with us now, ma?
I've been with you since the
Oh,
beginning of the class.
wonderful, wonderful.
Good
I
evening,
we
sir.
are good evening, ma. You've not been responsive. That was why I was wondering. Probably the network was unstable.
I heard when you said I will pay fine.
That's why you did not respond again.
That's the only
Yes,
thing,
oh,
eh?
I don't want to pay fine. So I will just
no,
dodge the question. Good evening,
no,
sir.
so
Yes, sir.
we've been able to talk about so the resolution phase ends it with the conflict or the conflict circle. So straight ahead, let's talk about the conflict handling styles. Miss, Mrs. Regina, ma, do you have anything on the conflict handling styles?
Um, I have I have assertiveness. Hello.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, ma. Please continue.
Um, this describes the extent to which an individual attempts to satisfy his need and concern. At least what you have, I aim on this, I aim to do this thing, and all efforts to achieve that aim. At least you must
Wonderful,
work it out to make sure
wonderful,
that at least I satisfy myself on how to handle this and I've achieved it. That's the way I
wonderful.
understand that assertiveness.
Yes, you're on point, ma.
I have cooperativeness.
Okay.
This one is not personal. Is you are not alone. Other
Hmm.
people, at least when you know, this is what this one want, this is what this person needs, at least with by working together you are able to achieve your aim, though not only your interest but interest of others.
Wonderful. Like we have it here. It says it explains the extent to which a person attempts to satisfy his need and concern as well as the other person's need. Okay? This is when you
Yes, sir.
put into consideration not just your own needs alone, but the needs of others as well, and helping to work cooperatively, all right, to achieve it. I think there are just two of them
Yes,
under
sir.
this conflict handling staff. Mr. Edwards, do you have anything on the conflict? Okay, okay, I think we just did conflict handling styles, and we also have another one here that is still talking about conflict handling styles, where we have the dominating slash competing. Do you have anything on that, ma?
Mm, okay, dominating and competing.
Yeah, the likes of accommodating, avoiding,
Yeah, like
collaborating.
is it, what will I call it? Is it selfish interest that only you want to be, you want to do your thing in isolation, you don't want other people to join you?
Hmm. Okay, this is like the opposite of assertiveness, like the opposite
Yeah.
of cooperative. All right,
Mm-hmm.
like the opposite of cooperative, where you are just intentional and you are deliberate about you doing your thing without needing effort from others. It
Others,
says
yes.
when an individual is very assertive and not cooperative, such a person pursues his own concern at other person's expense. All right, just like what you said, more like you being selfish and self-centered. Okay, thank you very much. For you can move to the next one, please.
um Accommodating. When you according to the way it was pronounced, accommodating, at least you overlook the weakness of other things that you want to do, you bring them, you go along with their interests and make everything work out well. That is not you alone, like dominating, accommodating, no matter their cooperation, you bring it together at least to achieve your aim,
Wonderful.
like
Thank you.
self-sacrifice.
Wonderful, wonderful. Miss Martha, do you want to contribute to the accommodating kind of conflict handling style? What do you have to say on that, Mark?
Yeah, like Miss Regina said, it's just like overlooking some things and endurance. You endure some things because of peace to reign. That is my
Hmm.
understanding.
Okay, Mr. Edward, sir,
Yes, sir, I'm with you, sir.
would you like to
I'm
say something about?
about the accommodative.
Yes, sir. The accommodating as the handling style.
I think the both ladies have said almost said it all. But for you to accommodate any person about any issue or any matter, it takes a lot of sacrifice because process of trying to resolve an issue is always very tedious. But
Hmm.
because of the your own level of compromise, it takes maturity actually to be accommodating because it's not
Hmm.
everybody that have like minds with you.
Hmm.
But trying to do that, it takes a lot of sacrifice. But I believe while doing that along the line, I think there will be a level of compromise from both sides, from both parties, for them to be able to accommodate one another. So that's what I would say on that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Welcome,
Miss
sir.
Chinaza, you joined us today. It's good to have you on board. Uh,
So,
Good evening, Ma. Can you say something about the third term accommodating as a conflict handling style? I believe you've also taken the class on YouTube already.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma. Please, ma, can you
Okay.
make your
Okay. To my own understanding, to accommodate somebody, like, to take either to help, not help one another, or render help or assistance to someone, uh, or he or she might not be your family member or something, like, to assist or render help, to take the person in as.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
We all have actually spoken well, but the key word I want us to understand when we talk about accommodating as a conflict handling style is said that it is the opposite of competing. Okay? When you are competing, it's just you and you alone. All right? You are very assertive when you are competing. You see everybody as an opponent. Everybody is your enemy. You want to be better than this, you want to be better than that. We want to talk about accommodating now. Like the word says, accommodate. You are not dragging or holding ground with the competitors or with another person or with other persons. Just like Mr. Edward has said, you are making a compromise, even though the person might be the one, because we're talking about the angle of conflict handling. Okay, we're talking about the angle because it's a very wide word. You can use in different space. But speaking of conflict handling style, when you accommodate people, even though you're not the one that has done the wrong thing, you're not the one who has sparked the fire, you still compromise in order to what? Accommodate and let peace reign. So it is the opposite of competing. Okay, if you are competing, you want to stand on your points. This is it. This is it. This is it. We're accommodating. You're not competing. You are less defensive. All right, and approach issues with open arms. Now, when you are accommodating, you neglect your own concern. All right, you neglect your own concern to satisfy the concerns of other persons. Please let's note that when you are accommodating, you neglect your own concern to satisfy the concern of other persons. Okay, now the next one, please. Miss Martha, if you can walk us through the next one. Okay, Miss
Next
Martha, you can take a
one, the
break.
next one is avoiding.
You can take a break, ma. Miss Chinaza, please, you can take us to the next one, please. Miss Chinaza, are you there? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. I don't. I,
Yes,
I didn't get what you said. What did you say, sir?
you can walk us through the next point. We talked about accommodating. The next one is avoiding. And I believe you have your notes there, right?
No, not really. A jota.
Yeah, your jotter, your notes. You've
Yeah.
been through the YouTube, you've jotted something down. I believe you have
Yeah.
something on avoiding that handling methods like collaborating, compromising, avoiding. Please, you can walk us through them quickly now.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I have.
Okay, please, can you explain to us, walk us through them?
Uh, sorry. I don't really know about, on that now.
Can you
Mm.
find where they are in your notes? Can you find them and explain to us what you have there?
Sir, it's not up to date yet. Well,
But do you have anything on avoiding?
yes.
So tell us, what do you have there, please?
Sir, it's not yet update.
Mm-hmm. This is the judgment day. This is where I used to catch people. It means, as I, you say you've gone through the class. Why did you take down the notes?
Sorry.
Miss Tina,
Yeah.
you say you've gone through the class. So why didn't you take the notes? Because the requirement is, as you go to these classes, put down something. This will help you remember because watching alone will not suffice. You watch, you write. Okay? It will make your understanding fortified. So that means you were not writing machine as that. Was that the
I
case?
will, but I'm not yet. Although I'm still in previous form, I'm not yet to that.
Okay. Please and please, ma, it is your responsibility to catch up. All right? I need you to catch
Yes,
up as soon as. And I said it
yes, ma'am.
throughout last week. Everybody, go and catch up. Oh. Today is our last class on this course. I don't want you to pile up work for yourself. Next week, we are starting a different course. We're not coming back to GST202. We are starting a different course. And if we start that one, you will also need to
Okay,
attend that class. So don't pile up work, please. Okay? So very
okay,
quickly,
sir.
we've taken time here, and we still have a long way to go. So let's go straight to conflict analysis. Uh, Mr. Edwards, sir, do you have anything on conflict analysis?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. You can start from there, sir.
Well, in the class of conflict analysis, we were taught on that conflict analysis has to do with conflict mapping and conflict tracking.
Wonderful.
Conflict mapping and conflict tracking. And you
Awesome.
told us about the word that conflict analysis has to do with critical review, interpretation, explanation of what was observed and record taken about a conflict situation. That is, in trying to analyze the conflict, you have to look at the review it critically. And
Wonderful.
after that review, then there is need for interpretation about what has
Yes,
been reviewed. Just like when the government set up a committee concerning something, the committee will submit their report. There will not be a white paper review of what the committee has done. So that is like an interpretation of what has been reviewed. And then the
wonderful.
explanation of what was observed during the process of interpreting the critical review. And those records will be taken about the conflict situation. So that's the first stage for conflict analysis.
Yes, thank you very much for that. So
Yes, sir.
now we talked about categories of stakeholders. Okay,
Yes, sir.
when we say
Yes, sir.
categories of stakeholders, first, who are the stakeholders in conflict? Please.
The stakeholders are the group and parties who are directly or indirectly involved in the conflict. They have a stake in the conflict, the outcome of the conflict. And then we have the primary stakeholders. Those are the ones that are that is direct investors. We have secondary stakeholders. They are affected directly by the outcome of the conflict. That is, they are being affected by the outcome of the conflict. And then we have interested stakeholders. These are they are interested in the conflict because they stand to benefit either peaceful or conflict. So there's just like the Russian and Ukraine war. There are people that war is affecting, while there are people who are benefiting from it. These are the
Definitely.
categories of
Thank you very much for
stakeholders.
that, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Please,
sir.
I would like you to please take a hold there. You can take a break there, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, sir.
Regina, ma, can you please walk us through the conflict mapping and conflict tracking? Do you have anything on that, ma?
Hello.
Yes, ma. Are we on the same page, ma?
You said conflict mapping.
Yes, ma.
Is it the history of the conflict or which one?
No, no, ma. I'm particular about what it means by conflict mapping and what it means by conflict tracking.
Okay, the conflict tracking.
Yes, ma.
This involve monitoring, observation, and recording of the trend of change and continuity in the conflict process. How it started, people that are involved, the way the thing is going, the way according to the way I understand it too.
Yes, ma.
That's the monitoring, observation, and recording of the trend of change and continue in the conflict process.
Definitely. Trend is synonymous to tracking, all right? Because that thing you are tracking, there must be changes. It is not it can never be stagnant. Okay, so the tracking is to help you. It's a process, and this process involves, as you have rightly said, ma, that it involves consistent following through, monitoring. As you are monitoring, you are collecting facts, you are observing. All right. Basically, you are the reason why you are actually tracking is to be updated. You don't want to keep using the same solution over time, and you don't want to keep using the same tactic to get a different result. All right. For you to use a tactic, it has to be according to what is contemporary, according to what is latest, what is up to date, what is recent. All right. You use it to tackle. And the only way you can know what is contemporary, what is updated, and what is recent is by keeping track of that particular conflict. What about the mapping, ma? Conflict mapping.
So is the first step in intervening to the management of a particular conflict. So it can also be called a graphical representation.
Wonderful. A graphical representation of the conflict.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
In conflicting parties are placed on relation to the situation on ground. Okay. Mapping is almost the same thing with tracking, because but when you talk about the mapping now, we are particular about the graphical representation, while the tracking is more recording. Okay. Observing record, observe record. Are we good to go? I think probably for those of us that watch crime movies, whereby you see all these special agents doing their thing, they have their board. Probably the person they are tracking, his picture will be in the center, and other other things that is related to other related information concerning the person they are tracking is attached on different sticky notes pinned to the board, maybe to the east, to the west, or to the south of the board. That idea is the idea of conflict mapping. All right. So, but I'm just using that as a case study in the sense that when it comes to conflict mapping, it's a graphical representation whereby there's a topic sentence, there's a theme of the conflict, and surrounded around that theme are other, all right, related points or other related conflicts pointing to the main conflict. I don't know if we are together on that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's continue. Okay, now look at we have some image images here. Mrs. Regina Ma, do you have anything on the images? Did you take note of the images?
The one that's legend is the symbol used to map a conflict situation. The one like zero circle, that's the present stakeholders. The one two lines, good relationship. The
Okay.
line and dash in between, that's the broken relationship.
Hmm. Please,
Um
let's take this thing. This thing came out in the TMA last semester. Please, let's take note of, and I'm sure it will even come out in the exam. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much for that. So, very quickly, I want us to to take some bold steps. Let's take some bold steps. I want us to touch everything this night, and I don't want to keep us here forever because tomorrow is Monday. We have to take enough rest. So now,
Tomorrow
there's
is
something
Sunday.
called the GPT model. Do you have anything on the GPT model?
no, sir.
Okay, Mr. Edward, Miss Chinaza, Miss Martha,
Yes, sir.
anything on the GPT model?
Yes, sir. PP model. Triple P model.
Yes, please. Can you walk us through it, sir?
Yeah, but we didn't talk about tools for analysis conflict. Or you just want us to go straight to the PP model?
I want us to go straight to DPT model.
Oh,
Even the
it's all
DPT
right.
model itself, not even gone halfway. So like I said, I want us to take a bold step. I want us
It-
to take a bold step.
it's all right, sir. Now we have three P's. First one is people who are involved or affected or influenced and leadership. The second P is process, and that has to do with the historical pattern sparking issues, the history and the pattern of the conflict. And then the last P is problem. The demand is what they want to achieve. So the three P stands for people, process, and the problem. Should I continue, sir?
Yes, sir. Mr. Edwards, thank you. I was actually expecting an introduction, but let me just do the introduction. Thank you, sir.
It's all
For
right,
those
sir.
of
Thank
us
you.
that are lost, don't be lost too. We are talking about different methods that conflict can be analyzed. Okay, and what he has just helped us now, we have spoken about a model. Okay, this model is called the PPP model, whereby the people involved in this conflict, they are being, all right, observed and analyzed. We also have the problem, all right, and the process that led to the problem with the people. That is the PPP model. Okay, are we together? So we also have the DPT. Sir, tell us about the DPT, sir. The DPT model.
It's all right, sir. You taught us on the DPT model is the diagnosis. The D stands for diagnosis. That is investigating the history of the conflicts. And then the P
Wonderful.
stands for, I think you said we should do okay, the state stands for progress. The present state of the source and current and futuristic of the conflict. And then the last one is
Yes,
therapy, which is prescription or treatment of the conflict.
wonderful. Yes. Now, as we have said, this is more like the medical kind of way to look at a conflict. First, when there's an issue, run your diagnosis. And when you say run a diagnosis, we want to know, let us not be assuming things. Let's know what the problem is. Let's get to the foundation of this problem. Let's not treat symptoms, but let's treat the root of the issue. All right. So when you run your diagnosis, you know what the problem is. Then you begin to take your medications. Therefore, you begin to. But we are talking about conflict now. We are just using this model to explain how conflict can be analyzed. Having known the diagnosis, you know what the problem is. Then we'll talk about you doing the needful and therefore monitoring each state of your success presently and in the future to come. All right. And lastly, considering the fact that this is what you have achieved as of now, there should also be a curriculum or a structure for this same issue in case it happens in the nearest future. All right. It's when you prescribe treatment. Now that you've had your diagnosis, you had your medications, then if this kind of thing happen again, then these are the treatment that you will prescribe in order to resolve this kind of conflict. That is according to the GPT model. Okay, so thank you very much for that, sir. Please, man, do you have any, Mrs. Martha? Do you have anything on conflict transformation?
Yeah, you said that
Miss,
transformation aims at transforming a violence or conflict from a destructive or a violent stage into a constructive stage force.
Miss Martha, are we on the same page?
Yes, I'm saying something. Can't you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, ma'am.
Yes, I said you said that the conflict transformation is aimed at transforming a violence or conflict from a destructive or violent stage into a constructive stage first.
Yes, wonderful. Please continue, ma.
So you said you talk about the chief proponent. I think his name
Okay,
is Mr. John Lederer.
okay.
That is what I have. And the categories of conflict transformation. We have a
You mean the,
personal,
sorry, ma. Sorry, ma. You
sir?
mean the you said something now. I
Yes,
just make
City John.
chief proponent,
John Lederer. That is John
leatherer,
Lederer. Yes, sir.
leatherer. Thank you very much, ma. All right. We want to talk about the chief
Yes.
proponent. That the term conflict transformation, he has done a lot about the term conflict transformation. He is therefore referred to as the chief proponent of the said term, and his name happens to be John Letterach. Thank you very much. Miss Goodness, you came very late, so your own fine is 20,000 naira. So just make sure you
Sir,
pay after the class. I said you came
good
very. I
evening,
said you
sir.
came. Good evening, ma. So your own fine is 20,000 naira. Make sure you pay it after the
One
class, ma.
thousand, 1,000 naira, ba.
20,000 naira, ma.
I've been trying to join since, so me, I'm tired of subscribing data sef. Every time I will subscribe 2 gig, 2 gig. The thing will just finish after one day.
Ah, you are still subscribing 2 gig in this with what service providers are doing. 2 gig is like 200 MB now these days. Oh. It's very very disheartening. And even the data you
Well,
will do, you cannot because of the poor network. I can understand, ma. It's good to have you on board. So Miss Martha, please continue, sir. Continue, ma.
network is bad here.
The last one I have here is the categories of conflict transformation, which is
Okay,
personal.
but on conflict transformation, what we need to understand is that conflict transformation is it's a concept that helps conflicting parties to see the positive
Yes.
side of conflict. All right, conflict is not a must that should be destructive. All right, it's out there to help people see that, to help conflicting parties understand that conflict can be constructive but not destructive. And the chief proponent of this kind of transformation is accredited to that of John Lederach. Please, ma, you can continue.
Okay, we have the categories are personal, structural, and relationship. That is where I stop.
And categories, wonderful. So the three main categories of conflict transformation. Okay, do you have anything on that, ma?
No.
Okay, now it says the first category comprises those dealing with personal changes. Okay, we also have those dealing with structural changes, and we have those dealing with relationship changes. Now, the personal changes are more of the personal thing. I think we
Please,
covered
sir,
that
where are
before.
we?
We are currently on conflict transformation categories, the categories of conflict transformation. Okay, so now the personal changes that we're talking about, those ones are more like the individual thing. Like I think you were even the one that gives definition of matter that we go through conflict sometimes when we okay, I think it was Miss Goodness that you want to get married, you don't know who to marry, this one, that one. It's another. It's a personal. That is a personal conflict, and it requires a personal change. All right. So sometimes this change might lead to destructiveness. All right. But according to conflict transformation that we're talking about, changes must not be always seen as destructive or negative, but it can be seen as positive. All right. So based on the personal level, based on the structural level, the structural level now is more of a large scale conflict on a large scale that involves parties. Okay, and relationship in the sense that the socialization part of conflict, whereby it has to do with you relating with others. Those are the three main categories of conflict transformation. Okay, thank you very much for that. So let's take another bold step. I want us to cover everything tonight. So let's see how we can also take okay, now there's something called bypassing. All right. What do you understand by the said term bypassing? Do you have anything on that, Miss Goodness?
So I didn't hear what you say. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. What was the question, sir?
I said, do you have anything on bypassing?
Hey, God, I cannot even hear.
Okay. Miss Martha, Mr. Edward, Mrs. Regina, Miss Tinaza, can we hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Yes,
Hear
I
you,
can
sir.
Oh,
hear you.
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't have
Mr.
anything on bypassing.
Miss, Mrs. Martha, you don't have anything on bypassing?
No, sir.
Oh, what about Mr. Edward, sir?
I don't have it too, sir.
Wow. Mrs. Regina, ma, what about you now?
I don't have anything on that, sir.
Okay.
I don't think we took it when we were in that class, when you took us in that class. What is here is that initials that IGADD, Intergovernment Agency on Drought and Development, GMC,
Okay.
Joint Monitoring Commission, and so on. Actor of conflict, non-violence, confrontation, and so on that class.
Okay. Now, when we say bypassing, according to what we have here, it says it usually results from false belief. All right. Bypassing is a product. It is a product of what we call false, false, okay, belief.
Can you take it again? The product of what?
What we call false belief. Are we on the same page?
No, sir. Please speak out, sir. I didn't get that. I only had believe.
Okay, it said it is a product of false belief.
Okay, false believe.
Yes, ma'am, false belief.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now, bypassing in conflict, right, is said to be you as a mediator trying to put an end to a conflict or trying to mediate a conflict. When you say things, and unfortunately, the people you are referring to or who you are talking to, they did not get what you have said. They only assumed that this is what you have said. And that their assumption is totally against what you have said. Then it becomes a thing of bypassing. Now it says that a listener, all right, should critically examine. Don't just assume what has been said. Now it says that both speaking and listening and conflict situation should what involve what we call ethical considerations. Now, speaking of this, the ethical conditions or ethical considerations I mean to say when we talk about bypassing is the fact that when certain prospects, all right, about how to put an end to a conflict are being proposed, it is the responsibility of the conflicting parties. It's just like giving terms and conditions to know the in toto, the in and out of the terms and conditions. Okay, if they don't understand, if they just say okay, I think we do understand, then bypassing has taken place. So then it says here that how can bypassing be avoided? All right. So it says that encourage open and free communication. Okay. It also says there that think about words and their meaning, but you should also consider the person using the word. All right. Meaning that be mindful of the person you are talking to. And lastly, ask questions. Okay? Ask questions to be sure that everything that has been said is well understood. And I think conclusively for tonight, we'll be talking about early warning. I think everybody should have that note. Miss Martha. Okay, Miss Goodness, can you hear me now? Miss Goodness, are you with us?
Yeah, I can hear you now, sir.
Wonderful. Do you have anything on early warning?
Yes, we have something on that. I have something on that.
Please, can you walk us through it, ma?
Should I go over it?
Can you walk us through it very quickly, ma?
Okay. On early warning, we have before we go into early warning, there is something that you said we need to know, which is perception. Perception means that's your view, your impression about something or about others. Maybe you see somebody that is passing and you say, that so person, I don't really like the way she behaves. Maybe because of what people have said about her, you not caring to even know who the person is. You have just concluded that's your perception about that particular person. So it can also be it is known as your view, impression, or your thoughts about others. So at this level of perception now, conflict at this level of negative perception is very difficult because stereotype steps in, which can get out of hand when it is not well taken care of. And
Wonderful.
stereotype means a tag that someone has, or a group of persons has tagged that person, that person is bad. Oh, don't go there,
Yeah,
it's bad. When you go there, you die. So this is a stereotype. And maybe you as a person now, you are just coming in, you don't even care to know whether what the people are saying about this person is true or not, and then you believe. So because
just to
of
conclude here.
perception, stereotype will come in. So after this, now we now move straight to what we call early warning, which is the real early warning we are talking about. And early warning has to do with collections, analysis, and communication of relevant evidence and conclusion to policy maker in order to enable them make their choices. It can also be said as a complex system of indication to predict the probability that a crisis is likely to happen and how a preventive action can be taken. It's like you trying to prevent oil from pouring out of your gallon. That means you have to cover the oil well so that it will not pour. So early warning now has to do with the collection of the analysis that you know that are relevant to a particular conclusion to policy makers in order to enable them make choices. And we also say that it is a complex system of indicators to predict the probability that a crisis is likely to happen and a preventive action that can be taken. Please now, a preventive action that can be taken on that. So that's what we call early warning. And then the next is types of
Wonderful.
early warning. Types of early warning, we have conflict early warning and disaster early warning. Under conflict early warning, we can make it a short form as CEW. CEW stands for conflict early warning. This conflict early warning has to do with information that is given or a system that is designed at preventing an impending conflict that could take any form. That is the measure you should take in order to prevent a conflict from happening. That is a conflict early warning. And then
Wonderful.
disaster early warning has to do with is just as preventing or minimizing an impending natural disaster that is
Mm,
unavoidable or that
yes,
cannot be prevented, such as earthquake, hurricanes, tsunami, and other climate changes. So if you do
yeah,
not take a step, if you do not take a step in order to prevent earthquake, when it happens, their souls will perish, people will die. So in order to avoid earthquake from happening, you need to take a step before it happens. So those are what we call early warning. And then we'll now
hurricane.
quickly move to early warning indicators.
Okay.
Before the early warning indicator, we talk about what indicators are. Indicators are those things that point at something, that point to a given condition.
Yes.
When you check your
Like,
dictionary, you will see what indicators are. They point, just like arrow on the road. One arrow that is
yes.
pointing green to one particular direction. That one is telling you that all vehicles should go that direction. So these are what indicators are. So these
Indication.
indicators are very important, though they might not pump out easily, but from information that is being gathered from intel and also from survey, it helps to identify that these are potential threats. Therefore, we have to handle them properly in order to
Won-
avoid disaster. So these are
Wonderful.
the early warning
Yes.
indicators. And
Thank you very much.
the indicators are, we have small arms.
Hello. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to take from there, please. Um, I wouldn't want us to speak. I don't want us to speak on the the next topic because of this content will be posted on YouTube, and one of the instructions given by YouTube is that we need to be careful of the word we use on their platform. So I don't want us to discuss about this at all. It will be given in a we'll find everything we need on the keynote. So thank you very much, everyone. Let's just go straight to um, this. All right, demilitarization and disarmament, and also demobilization and so on. So, Miss Martha, do you have anything on demobilization, demilitarization, and disarmament? I think those were kind of the last set of classes we had.
So I don't have.
Wow, have you not covered all the classes now?
I think I've not done volume 6 and 7.
No, I don't think. Ensure, ma. Please, ensure.
Yes,
Okay.
I've started the volume 6, but I was not I did not complete it.
Okay, okay. Please, ma, do all to the needful. Mrs.
Yes,
Regina,
sir.
ma.
Ogami, I have not done it too. Even the one my sister just said now, I was lost. I need to go back. Hmm?
Ah,
Please, sir.
but okay, okay. Please, then, I beg of us. Let us do the needful.
I started late.
Okay, okay. It's okay, ma. Because I
I
know
will.
quite all right. They are taking. majority of us in this class, apart from Miss Chinaza, because I think we just joined and we just started our courses. Miss Goodness, we are you taking Edu 121. Miss Martha, public admin, 12 level, second semester. You and Mr. Edward, we are taking another course tomorrow. We, Mrs. Regina, we're taking
Bye.
politics. We are on GST202, the next course tomorrow. So I don't want to, and you know that when all these things are piling up, it's not really easy to go back to all these classes and be watching them. So I don't want any of us to pile up anything at all. So I beg of us. Mr. Edward, sir, do you have anything on demilitarization?
Not at all. In fact, I thought I was through with the classes. So I didn't know that I still have one class. I will do that first tomorrow after service. That early one is all that she has been saying. In fact, I appreciated that, but I will have to go back to that class.
Wow, wow. Okay, I will
Sincerely,
drop the link. I will drop the link again this night. I've
please, sir,
updated it.
we
I've
appreciate it.
updated last two Telegram classes and the volume of this course. I think is about volume 7. Miss
We
Goodness,
only
am
have
I correct?
6. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's
we
volume
stop
7.
at volume 7. That's peace and peacemaking.
Yes. Thank you very much. That's the last thing we
And
talked about.
we end at some abbreviation such as NATO and ICISS.
Yes. Thank you very much for that. So please and please. So Miss Goodness, please just take us on demilitarization before we call it wrap here for tonight.
On what, sir?
Demilitarization.
Digitalization.
Okay, I mean demilitarization.
Okay, sir, what I have here, I have peace. And the meaning of peace, where is derived from? And
Do you have
peacekeeping
any
also.
do you have anything on
Sir?
demobilization?
Digitalization.
No, no. I said demobilization.
Mobilization.
D
What I
mo
have here, I
B.
have conflict management. I have negotiation. I have gender.
Okay, I think you don't have it. Let me just quickly take us through this. Now, the
Okay.
the one, you wanted to talk about that I say we should hold on. All right, is basically on arms. We know what arms are, right? Those substance people use in fighting war. Okay. After
Okay, substance that is used to fight war.
after we finish talking about those ones, then we talked about how peace can be sustained. Okay. After a conflict, how can you sustain peace successfully? So we said we use the term demilitarization that says it is an applied strategy for executing successful peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building operation. When we say demilitarization, we are simply talking about putting an end to militarization. And when we say militarization, we are simply talking about
Sir,
putting
sorry, sir, please, can you spell it? I can't really get that word. Just spell it. Maybe if I write it down, I will be able to get the word.
DE,
P-E,
D for dog, DEMI,
D-E,
MI,
M-I,
LI,
L-I,
CA,
T-A,
CARI,
D-E-M-I-L-I-T-A,
RI,
R-I,
SATION.
okay, Z-A-T-I-O-N.
No, ma. DEMILICARISATION.
Okay.
Can you pronounce the word?
DEMILITARISATION.
Yes, yes, yes. RISA.
Okay, SATION.
Yes. Can you pronounce the word now?
Okay, demilitarization.
Yes. So I was saying
Okay.
it is a strategy. Strategy is for executing successful peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building operations. Okay? Most times, the reason why we have, you know, that word demilitarization has a prefix. The prefix is DE because militarization is on its own, it's a word on its own. So when you are adding DE, it becomes another word. So now, when you remove the prefix and you have the suffix militarization, we are simply talking about a situation, all right, whereby you have soldiers out there on the street, every corner of the state, because there's an ongoing conflict. Okay, so now that the conflict has been handled successfully, there is need for you to what? Demilitarize by getting them off the streets and getting them back to their barracks as a symbol of peace, all right, as a symbol that tranquility has been restored. So that's why we are being told here that it is an applied strategy for executing what we call successful peacekeeping, peacemaking, and peace building operation. Are we together? Then we have disarmament. Here, we are simply talking about when you remove, okay, combat, okay, from X, what we call belligerent. But let's just use it in a simple term. Disarmament, just like when you disarm, you take away the proliferation, the too much circulation, all right, of arms. And this is only possible because, when there is war, when there is conflict, there's usually there's a high level of the spread of this substance used for war. So after this conflict, there is need for you to remove all these circulations of the substance. Then that process of removing those substances in society is called disarmament. All these are in our YouTube classes. That are the things we talked about before we talk about peace. So lastly, Miss in a nutshell, please, Miss Happiness, just talk about the third term peace, uh, peace building, peace. I think we have peacemaking, peacekeeping. Okay, after peace, we talked about peacekeeping. So just help us quickly talk about what it means by peace and peacekeeping. Then we call it a wrap for tonight. Are we together?
Yes, sir. We are together, sir.
Okay, I think Miss Goodness left already. I think we messed up the bounce. Miss Goodness, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Yes, I said walk us through peace and peace building. So we call it a wrap for tonight.
Sir?
I said walk us through peace, what it means by peace and peacemaking.
Hello?
Mr. Edward, can you hear me?
Hello? Hi, God, network. Sir, please don't be offended. It's network. What do you say?
Okay.
Hello?
Can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you now.
I said, can you walk us through what it means by peace? We discussed peace and peacemaking. Can you just walk us through it very quickly so we can call it a wrap for today?
Okay. On peace.
Yes, please.
Is it peace?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Peace is derived from a Latin word called pax, P-A-X, which literally means a pact, contract, or an agreement to end a war or any dispute and conflicts between people, nation, or group of people. It can also be
Or
said as a non
there, if there's something you jump between people, nations, or antagonistic group of people.
okay
Please
or
say
a holistic group of people.
antagonistic. That's the word.
Okay,
Antagonistic,
okay, or holistic group of people.
not holistic. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I've written it down.
Antagonistic, not holistic.
That is
No,
WHOLISTIC.
no. Antagonistic. Should I take that again?
O A N.
C A
Please start from beginning, sir.
A N
Okay, A N
C A
A N.
C A
Okay, G
G O. After T A, then we have G O.
A.
Can you hear me, ma?
I can hear you, sir. ANGO.
ANTAGO.
Okay, okay, antagonistic. I get it now.
Yes, antagonistic.
I get it now. Antagonistic group of that's people that are antagonists.
Yes, antagonist.
They,
Wonderful.
yeah, they always attack each other. They don't have any term of agreement between each of them.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So
So,
peace now is settling this
yes,
kind of people is what is called peace.
wonderful. It says there that it is um it is a long-term process that occurs after violent conflict has slowed down, all right, has slowed down or come to a halt. So what does it mean
Yes.
by peace? What does it mean by peacekeeping?
What does it mean by what?
Yes, just hold on, please. Mr. Edward, please unmute yourself. Miss Martha, Mrs. Regina, please. I want us to say something on this. Miss Chinaza, I want to talk about what it means by peacekeeping. Can you explain?
He said peacekeeping is the third party intervention to assist parties in transition from violent
Miss Martha,
conflict to peace.
Miss Martha, you have this note. So yeah, walk us through. Continue, ma.
No, so that is the only thing I have. And I say, and you say, conflict management is the process and act. It's all about reduce. It's all about reduce the. I don't know whether I get that word very. I don't know whether it's reduce or produce.
I'm lost. Are you still talking about peacekeeping, ma?
I've talked about peacekeeping and I'm on conflict management.
Okay, but after peacekeeping is peace building. You've not said anything about peace building, ma.
I've said that peacekeeping is the third party intervention to assist parties in trans in
That's
trans
peacekeeping.
yes,
We have peace building,
transitioning
we have
from
peacekeeping.
violent conflict to, that is peacekeeping.
Said you should talk
There's something
about
you are missing.
peace building,
There's
peace
something you are
building.
missing, and I want you to hit the nail on the head. Can you take that peacekeeping again, Ms. Martha?
Okay, peacekeeping is the third party intervention to assist parties in transitioning from violent conflict to peace.
Okay.
That's the only thing I have on peacekeeping.
Yes. What about peace building?
Ah, no, so I don't have
What
peace
about
building.
Peace building has
Okay,
to
do
do
you have
with
anything on peace
okay, the
building?
peace building. I have peace building. Yes, I have. Peace building require capacity building, reconciliation, and social societal transformation.
Hmm.
Societal transformation.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hey, network. Oh.
Okay. The network is pretty
We are
unstable.
hearing you, sir.
As a matter of fact, we have actually over our time is long over. It's already 9:31. Okay. So just want to call you wrap here for today, but based on what Ms. Martha said about conflict management, okay, when you were asking the other time, it is a process, okay, that is geared towards reducing what we call
So what do you say? Conflict management.
The net-
this network wants us to end this thing
the
immediately.
network. Oh.
You hear me?
Wow.
Can you all hear me now?
It's a complete. Yes, we're
Yes,
hearing.
yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. I hear you.
okay, awesome. So the conflict management is just about how to reduce the negative, all right, and destructive capacity of
And
conflict
disruptive with the aid of
through
stakeholders.
various means, and some of these means can be working with the stakeholders that are involved in this conflict. And we moved on to negotiation, where we talked about okay, negotiation having several
A peaceful
definitions.
way to put an end to a conflict.
But the
A
one thing we
peaceful way
must
to put an end to a conflict.
wonderful, wonderful. One thing we must bear in mind when it comes to negotiation, all right, just like what Ms. Goodness just mentioned, it's a peaceful way of putting an end to conflict. But you also need to understand that negotiation involves good persuasive skill, all right, a very good persuasive skill. This is a situation whereby you are trying to persuade each other to see, all right, reasons why we should put an end to the conflict, all right, amicably. So thank you
Yes.
very much.
We also have good
Uh,
office. We also have good office.
yes, we have good office, we have reprisal, we have
We have gender.
arbitration. All these we talked about in our YouTube class, and we have gender. So let's call it wrap here for today. And thank you very much, everyone. And I think it's been wonderful so far on the course
Well done,
GST202.
sir. Well done, sir. You've done a great job tonight, sir.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
sir.
it.
So thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
very much.
God bless you.
Miss
Thank you, sir.
Regina, Miss
Have a
Goodness,
beautiful
Chinasa, Miss
weekend, sir.
Martha. Good night, everybody.
Miss
Good
Social.
night,
Goodness,
sir.
I think you will be my study partner now.
Okay, ma, I will be glad.
Thank you, Miss
You
Goodness.
too much.
You are wonderful.
Good evening.
Goodness.
Good night,
Thank you
Well
very
done,
much,
ma. All right now.
Mr. Edward. Let's all have a wonderful night rest and have a blessed
And
week.
you, and you too, sir.
Thank you,
Sir, what are
sir.
we having
Wish you
next, sir?
same.
Which course
You
are
too,
Good night.
sir. Good night.
which course are we having next, sir?
Okay, I will have to go to my drawing table and check the ones we're having next. And I think
So that
on
we
Sunday
can
I'll
read.
publish the timetable.
So, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
night,
very
sir.
much.
Yes, sir.
Good night.